alpha, beta, whatever. He's just a beta male. Like if you hate Kevin Samuels, it's like he's just a beta male.
Yeah.
He's gay. He doesn't like women. Man.
But I think they
Everybody
exist
gay?
though. You have more feminine men now, and you have like some like, and I think that's why women are so hard now.
That's
I
true.
think that's the thing because you have more beta
What is
males out there.
feminine men? What
But
is
I
feminine
I
men?
feel like there's like so many
What are
different
feminine men?
categories though.
And they are a lot.
Huh?
They are feminine men. These are feminine men, right? They're a bunch of
Like the
men raised by
metrosexual.
women. No. Hell, not even
Uh,
that. They're a bunch of men raised by women, and they talk like women, and they do women. They like do women shit, and that's what
What
pisses
women
people
shit?
off. Like they talk about other men, and then be like, "Oh shit, I didn't say that." Like they do weird shit, or they're upset about shit that you're like, "Why can't you just say some shit?" Like perfect example, right? Perfect example. It's
Oh
Tim.
shit!
That
Wait,
really
what?
it struck a nerve with me. That's it. Like Tim. Perfect example is Tim. Today when we had our talk, Tim was like, "Hey, let me just holler at you real quick."
I was like, I'm the.
No.
You're like, damn,
Hold
Tim
on.
out here, oh bitch.
What I'm saying, Tim just straight up was like, "Hey, this is how I felt about the situation, right?" And most men are gonna hold that in and not say anything and have this animosity towards somebody, and it just spirals into something else. Because I could say some shit like, I don't know, I could be joking with Tim one day, and he takes that shit a totally different way, and I'm like, "Nigga, what are you doing? What are you talking
Right.
about?" Because I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Because I never would have guessed that shit. But if you don't say nothing to me, I'm not harping on that shit.
Right.
Well,
But you
I'll
have a
say
lot of
this.
men
Let
that
me say
hold that
this.
shit in and cry about it.
Right.
Let me say this. Sometimes people don't say anything because they don't know how to take whatever's happening.
Let me tell you why. Stop right
And
there. Hold on. Stop right there. Why? Because he never had a man tell you. Literally, I've had certain situations. My dad's like, "So is that a man?" I was like, "Yeah." "Are you a man?" "Yeah." "We'll go holler at him. Ask him what's going on." "Oh, okay." Simple as that. That's the simplest thing in the world to say to somebody. But my mom's advice to me was, "Baby, just get your stuff and get out of there. I don't know, baby. Just get out of there." And it was a big deal for her. Like you threw her. My dad. It was just, my dad had a 2-minute conversation with me, and it solved the entire problem. My mom had a 30-minute conversation with me, and it would have made everything 100 times worse.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need to say anything.
You gotta pick your path.
As you do. You pick your path. I guess pick your poison. For me, I just know me, and I just would. I like to analyze the situation, and maybe I don't know. Maybe that's not manly, but I like to just kind of analyze the situation because, and maybe this is just maybe I overestimate, or maybe whatever. It's my own mental whatever, but I just know I I oftentimes don't trust my initial deduction of it. So I feel like you find out more because, like, look, I'm a big dude. So if I come up to you and say, "Hey, were you talking shit?" The average person is gonna be like, "Nah, it's nah," right? But I really want to know if you were talking shit. I really want to know what you. So I'll just rather just let you keep talking, and then over time I can have an understanding of what's happening or what the deal is. But I also forget shit. I also let go of shit pretty easily. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, once you apologize, it's done. For me, once we, once we once we have some form of understanding, it's over. Like, okay, all right. Oh, that's it? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like similar situation of what happened. If it was me and Tim, like if it was us, and I felt there was something, and then it came out it was something, and then you guys said, "Hey, no, I did feel this, and this about this," and we talked about it. After that conversation, it's over. I won't even think about it afterwards. Like that is done. That's how I am. So for me, I would rather sometimes I would rather just let it hang out there for a second just so I can understand you fully. Because if I confront you, you're gonna be on defense. And I'd rather know what I'm dealing with. Maybe I'm
I don't
overthinking
know
it.
about defense. I think most men like, because when Tim said that, I could have been on defense, right? And I could have been like, "Shit, nigga, what you talking about?" And it could have been a conversation, but as another grown man, I respect it. Like, cool, that's what's up. Nah, I wasn't talking about you. I respected that's how you felt. So let me explain to you, like, that's not how I felt. That's not what I was trying to say at all. So I think it's like that's where we have females, like men that are beta, or like female men, and you have men that are just men. Like
So am I
you
beta?
go approach. Oh my! I don't. Are you nigga? You have, I'm not saying that you
Hybrid.
are.
I don't know. I don't get the definitions of each one because like one's
they're
like,
made up as motherfuckers go along.
yeah,
No
basically.
one, there's no fucking like. If I don't like you, you're a beta male. If I don't like you, if you had sex with me and it didn't work out, if you say some shit I don't like, you're a fucking beta male. That's why I hate these captions. Beta alpha male. That guy's alpha male. Why? Because he just drives a Ferrari. I guess that makes him an alpha male.
Yeah.
Man, these shits just be buzzwords, man. We're in this buzzword culture. People just be tossing buzzwords out here. Like, you're a cis man. Cis men can't do this and that, and so on and so forth. And
What's
it's
a
like,
cis
True.
a cis man is a straight fella. You're vanilla. If you're vanilla, you don't get you're a straight vanilla fella. Not necessarily white. If you're cis, you're just
Just plain.
regular.
You don't get
You just
chocolate
like having
wasted.
sex. You just like having sex, missionary, buddy. Or at least that's how they say it. Like
Hey.
he's cis man. If you're cis, there's all these like buzzword terminologies that is being tossed out here. Like, listen, at the end of the day, I understand some of these titles are necessary, but some of this shit is just like a word to categorize somebody in a not so flattering way.
But I used to think that
He's
shit
cis
too.
man.
Homeboys, like we had
Mhm.
homeboys that was out here cooking and giving these bitches, the 5-star treatment, and they're like, nah, this is an overnight bitch. What you doing, man? You fucking up everybody else.
Why can't that man just do what he needs to do? It's so funny because
It doesn't take all that. That's what I'm saying. It don't take all that.
But what if it takes him that, Chris? What if it takes him that?
Now she wants
That's
a
just his
4-course meal with
business.
every nigga she with now. Like, come
Okay.
on, man.
Right. But don't give it to her. You should, even if I give it to her, it shouldn't matter if you give it to her.
What
That
happened
shouldn't
that
make
one
me a
night?
beta male.
What
But
happened
it's-
that
beta
one night?
male.
it's just
You're
like
a beta male because you're.
it's like stock, right? Like that person raised the value of that
Yeah,
person,
exactly.
and now you have to wait for it to go back down. to
Well, some
reinvest.
people deserve to have their value raised.
And then it takes someone else come down and tear her apart, and she's like, maybe I'm not that person. Like, nope, you never were. Don't ever come back up here again. You stay where you belong.
I just think that a lot of these terms are just tossed out there. It's just like, wow, it's just weird on both ends, right? From the female side, from the male side. It's just like, come on, guys,
True.
listen. At the end of the day, I feel like this: you deal with whoever you're dealing with according to who that person is, and according to your strengths and weaknesses are. Hey, if you gotta cook a meal, nigga, cook a meal. Who gives a fuck? Because at the end of the day, bro, you know what I found out? A lot of people that talk all that bullshit be cooking meals on the low. How many times you saw people in that one girl's phone that was talking shit the first day? Man, she. Hey, I just want to come over.
Hey,
I
just
gotta get it done.
I just want to eat the box.
Do you mind if I just eat you to sleep? I was like, niggas is saying that? I thought that was the coolest line I've ever seen. I was like, niggas are saying that shit? Can I
What?
eat you to sleep?
Bro? Yeah, bro. And that's why I never subscribed to any of it. I don't like, as an adult, I realized, there's shit that people say and there's shit that's real. Like, I remember, maybe that's my oldness or whatever, but I remember at my last job, I was talking to a young fella, and I could tell that young fella, he was just transitioning out of his savageness, right? And I could tell he knocked a couple bodies down before out in the savage lands, when he was a part of the savage male society. I get it. He was doing his thing, nonetheless. And he was in the back of the car. He was in the back of the bus talking some old bullshit. Like, nah, bro, you gotta keep it real. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? You have to have game, and just talking all this general shit. And I was like, listen, I just want you to understand. You may not have encountered these females, right? But there's girls out here. Because I always feel like when it comes down to game, a girl who understands game is always gonna outdo a dude when it comes down to game. I feel. That's just my general philosophy on that. But he's like, yeah, he's like, nah, man, you ain't never, you just gotta have game, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta have game. I was like, listen, bro. And I had to like literally like keep it real with him because he was annoying me. I was like, listen, bro, all that shit you about to say, I've done all of it. All that shit you just telling them, I've done all of it. I'm gonna let you know something. There's chicks out here, they're real. They're real as fuck. And you may just not have encountered it. And look, you about to be married now, and you may not. But to let you know, there's some there's some professionals out here that fuck your life up. So all that shit you're talking about, like I hear it, but you may just never met your match yet. And some people can't. I have. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. It's like, oh, okay. All these tricks, you've seen these before. Okay, all right, shit, all right. Well, I guess we're an equal playing field.
So,
all right.
So, is this like all those keywords we're talking about, right? Like the alpha, beta. Is this based off, or do you guys think this is more of like a social, what's the word here? Status versus like a mentality, or is it like an actual like, I don't know. Is it more of a social status of that makes you an A type, or an alpha?
I know. I think I see what you're asking.
You see what I'm saying? Like, is it like?
So you basically asking, are people actually?
I can show you like I have cars and I'm successful and all this, but
let me go first.
Go ahead.
I think what you're asking, I'm gonna restate it based upon my understanding of it for clarification that I'm gonna answer. So are you asking, are people, when people are saying this, are they saying this as a mentality, as a natural mentality based upon their personality, or are people just using this as a metric to gauge people in a social standard?
Right.
Is that correct? Okay. It is the latter. From what I've seen. On average, the beta male that beta male concept is oftentimes tossed out there to talk about undesirable men. Oftentimes when I see females use it. So and this is females on social media, essentially, right? Which those people are barely real, but nonetheless, people on social media. Like because day-to-day people don't talk that way. Most of the time. Some do, from what I'm hearing in the dating world, some do, but real people, real day-to-day people typically don't talk to this. But the people out there in the social sphere, oftentimes these beta and alpha things are based upon ways to describe desirable and undesirable men, like A types. I want alpha male, and that's usually that desirable male. And typically that desirable male looks like the stereotypical desirable male that most girls on the internet want. Girls on the internet, right? Because there's that social media world, and then there's reality with real choices and real things that you have to deal with. So, so typically the alpha males are oftentimes.
Or I think it's more of like a personality, not look. Because
No, Chris, I'm saying that when people use that terminology, I think when he's asking, when people are using that terminology, what are they meaning? And what I'm saying is that in this current day and age, and the reason why I hate these buzzwords is because people are not using it in the proper terminology, as to say they're not utilizing to categorize a person's mentalities or their behaviors or their psychological whatever. They're more so using it to categorize men or women when it's the reverse. When it's the reverse, to categorize women in these more so than like a hierarchy, to say that, okay, like if you say beta, automatically that's lesser. The tone of voice is lesser. The way they say it is lesser, and it's like, oh, that's a beta male, that's a beta whatever. I don't know what the female equivalent of a beta male is, but whatever. That's a beta male, huh?
I don't think females have like a beta female.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So I think oftentimes these characteristics, especially if we're going to speak specifically to beta and alpha, I think oftentimes these are just terminologies to categorize on the internet, well, at least what I've seen. People are just using it as a terminology to just categorize desirable and undesirable men. Typically speaking, the alpha men are typically the ones that are talked about as desirable, beta males are typically talked about as the undesirable. And that's oftentimes whenever they talk about a beta male, they're describing a bitch ass nigga. Like everything about it, like they don't call him a bitch ass nigga, but it's just everything that they're describing seems to be just a bitch ass. And it's funny because but then if you look at the flip side, right? If you look at some of the flip side, and if you look at, you see that there is this push against toxic masculinity. And so when you tell someone, when society, when our culture is basically telling us that you can't be a bitch ass nigga, but on the flip side, when you look at a lot of the tropes of toxic masculinity, not sharing their feelings, not being, all these things that can be categorized as sensitive, it's like, it almost makes you wonder, like, okay, now obviously, I'm not talking about the obvious. Like, obviously, you shouldn't, do some of the extreme things that oftentimes exist in what consists of a toxic male. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they oftentimes do these things where it's like, well,
prove.
It's inconsistent. Like, but Chris, you answered the question because I just talked a lot.
I don't know. I see it both ways. I think some women, they enjoy that beta male. I think some women enjoy alpha males. They do look at them, I guess. I think maybe I look at them as like, I don't understand one side or the other. Like, I think you are who you are. It's a personality type. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference to me. It's like how, I guess I go back to, there's certain things that I never thought I would take in a relationship until I met Liz, and I go, now I just fight my battles. Does it make sense? Yeah. Like, if we're not gonna argue about some shit, like I'm not gonna argue with you about some shit that doesn't affect the rest of my day. Go for it. I don't know.
That's true.
This is one of those things. It's like it doesn't. You got each side of it. It just, as you grow, like, I guess we can slide that into the next topic. Like, as you get older, you realize like what's important, what's not, and you're like, I'm not gonna argue about certain shits. So,
well, that means you're a beta male, Chris.
But like, I think the funniest story I could. My mom was like, "What is it like?" She was like 70 seconds in a. Is it 70 seconds in a minute? And like my dad was like, "No, it's 60." She's like, "No, it's 70." He's like, "It's 60." And she's like, "It's 70." He's like, "All right." He's trying to warm something up in the microwave. And like when I saw him just lose the battle, because he was like, "What's 10 seconds gonna hurt that?" He's like, 10 seconds gonna hurt no food. I was like, he just picked this fight.
And that's why I said it's the internet, right? Because like in real life, right? In real life, anybody who's like in a consistent relationship, that's gonna be some ebbs and some flows. There's gonna be some in a functional relationship that lasts for extended period of time. There's gonna be some ebbs and some flows. There's gonna be a couple of times where you just look and you go, whatever. Okay. I get yelled at. I get talked about. Like there's things that I get talked about. And I say, okay, all right, okay. I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong, but you really need this one, so you can have
it. Yeah. I feel like with the internet, like they keep it high level just for whatever reason, but like the biggest differentiators are like the confidence and like your, I don't know, the aggression in a sense of that person makes them an A versus B. If I'm all loud and I'm going to win about stuff, or I'm sure about it, that's going to automatically categorize me as an A. But if I'm a B, I'm not going to go out of my way to do all that. But I could still be successful or more successful or whatever. And it's just like that perception of this person was overly confident and outgoing or whatever, outspoken.
Yeah, that's
how can you be successful? You bitch. You a bitch. How you gonna be successful?
You think all these CEOs is?
That's what the motivational speakers tell you. That's what the motivational speakers will tell you.
And they got some money now, so they don't have to be a bitch anymore. They can pay to not be a bitch. They can change your whole world around now.
Why aren't you rich?
So today, guys, we're sponsoring Bankrate. New roof.
New roof. Along
Go
with
out.
the spike of mortgages, get you a new roof from
Bankrate. All right, guys. Thanks for sponsoring. We'll be waiting on that check.
Oh my gosh. Go out.
We'll just force
the
them.
other. Be A-type. Be A-type. That's what we do. We gotta be A-types. We just gotta go out and get it.
Nah,
Put
that
one foot in front of the
doesn't
other
exist in
and
real
go
life,
out there
man.
and get it.
You guys gotta know when to fight and when not to.
When I fold them.
Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away.
There's certain, but I think like most women understand, like there's certain things that you'll put up with, but there's certain lines you just won't cross because they just know it's too much. They know it. Yeah. So they go, fuck that.
Yeah. So. If I hit that, like that second thing, the second story you had, the 60 versus 70,
yeah.
If it was me and Hannah, I'd just be like, so you're gonna make a bet? That's how we deal with that.
But you might get to a point where you might just let that 70 be 70, bro. Like it happens over time. Like that happens over time. I'm pretty sure there was a point in time where they're like, all right, bro, we're gonna pull out we're gonna pull out a clock. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna pull out something and figure this out. I'm pretty sure your dad at one point in time would have done it, but now he's just like, whatever, all right. Sure.
Yeah, I think we all have like, Liz knows if I call her Elizabeth, like I'm not fucking around anymore. Like, all right now.
Yeah. Elizabeth? What the fuck?
She knows it now. Like if I'm like Elizabeth, she knows I'm not fucking. Like I normally call her Liz. Like she knows if the name changes, we have a real fucking problem.
If I get a little bit more, like I usually get a little bit more. For me, it's more. I don't want to say hood, but if I say things like "bruh," if I start addressing them like, "All right, bruh," all right, my G. Like if I start saying that, that's usually means I'm pissed off. At that point, the eloquent words are just like now I'm trying to stop myself from disrespecting. Like, all right, listen, like I need you to understand here. Which I'll be honest with you, due to compromise, I haven't had to do a Ag My G in a long time. In a while. Quite a while. Wow. But beta alpha male, whatever. That's what it is. All right, so are you an alpha male, Chris? Are you an alpha? Do you just go out and get it? You go out and just
I'm neither one. I'm like in between. I'm the second person. I'm not aggressive like that. Not with a woman. It don't make sense to.
Tim?
Same. Alpha 2.0. You know what I'm saying? That's that chill chill in real life, but that alpha quote unquote mentality.
If now around other men, yes, I will. I overdo it with other men. Yes. That's just the thing, though.
That's funny because that's funny. I don't really care what women think.
It's just a dominant thing for me. I guess.
In my evolution of just me thinking to myself, like I've always cared what women think. I've never really cared what another dude think. I've never.
Women
really
see
cared.
that though. Women definitely see that though.
What?
Well, that like I care what women think.
They'll know the alpha man in the room. Yeah. They know who the. It's like a pack of dogs. You know which one.
But they only know from like a general perspective of like who's speaking loud and like those.
I think
you see the respect.
No, I think they do know, Tim.
You walk in a club with a group of men, girls can tell which one the leader is.
But I think what in these indicators may differ or vary, depending on who you are. Because one of the key indicators I would say from a leader or whatever, it'd be confidence. For me, not really ever really caring about generally what a lot of dudes have thought. I've been able to I've had scenarios where even in our current environment, when we're all hanging out and being young men, I've had scenarios where like, there were multiple girls in the room and, a girl would, because I was just to myself or I was just confident in myself. Like, I've gotten approached. It's like, oh shit, word? Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't grandstanding and blah, 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 I'm the greatest man in the world. Because I think for me, I mean, like I said, I think there's different levels, there's different layers of confidence and just different layers of what have you.
Oh,
I noticed
you guys take into that when I said alpha male, like like just like being loud. Sometimes you don't have to be loud to be the alpha male. Sometimes what you do can, you walking somewhere and you're like, hey, I can do X, Y, and Z. People go, oh shit. And you have everyone else looking at you like, oh shit. Like, the difference. You can tell those differences. They're huge differences.
I've never really
from what you wear to how you act and all that shit. They're differences in a group.
I hear you. I definitely hear you.
Like at work, it's like being alpha doesn't mean I'm gonna go smack the boss.
Give me a raise.
No,
I want your spot now.
Yeah, I need your spot now. I'm the big dog. Like, no. But people hesitate to go. I'm not gonna say too much to him because he seems like he might be on point. So let me leave him alone.
Oh. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
That's
I was having that conversation. I was having that conversation today actually with a coworker of mine in regards to in regards to those work, alpha beta situations. And it was me and a coworker, and we're explaining, like I was explaining to him why at my job, like why certain people may have took to him, why some people didn't take to me. And we had the same mentality. It's just that we expressed it differently. Like my friend was very outwardly, he was very whatever, and I was very reserved. So, we had the same mentality, but it just came off different. The mentality was none of you guys are better than me, right? But the way he communicated and the way I communicated was completely different. People, he communicated with the outwardly confidence. So people were just kind of like, okay, cool. Me kind of being reserved and it's kind of just whatever the case may be. I just came off standoffish. I came off like, whatever. So, I remember like at the early stages of my at that job, a lot of people were just trying to figure out what the hell's going on with that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like a big thing. And for him, people were like, oh, hey, hey, we like him. Yeah, whatever. And we had the same mentality. Like you felt the same exact way about everybody, but it was just kind of like, okay, well, we just communicated it differently. So I don't know. I guess when we were talking about that, I was just thinking like, I guess different people do it different ways. Like I know me personally now, talking to you and talking to some other people, I realized like you probably came off a little standoffish. Maybe you need to be a little bit more communicative. And like at this current role that I'm in right now, a lot more people, seem same mentality, but a lot more people seem a lot more willing to like converse and talk because it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm asking them questions and we're being whatever and making those jokes and jokes. So I don't know. I'll say it for myself. I think that I guess I'll say the same. I guess I am a hybrid. I am kind of a I've had alpha tendencies, but I mean to me, like if it's not worth it, if I can't see the intrinsic value of like running over you, I typically don't. I have to for me, it has to be worth it. So there you go.